where he emerged from. I don't know how he's able to measure my emotions. And those of you who have been following me would know that my videos are quite cool. I'm quite calm. I don't engage in aggressive behavior. That's my personality, and what I do, I do.
Well, guten Abend, Roby. Pleased to meet you. You responded. I like that. You're making me feel more important than I thought I was. I'm actually getting you to respond. Whoa, I like that. Really, I do. Awesome. Well, there's no emergence unless you've been living under a rock or you've been on another planet. I am sure you know who I am. And I didn't judge your emotion. I judged your intent based on what you said and based on what you said you comprehended from what Dr. Mitchell said. And it was so twisted from what he actually said that gave me clues to your intent. And that is why, and because I saw you twisted this so viciously, and that is why I thought you had ignoble intent. So it was your intent I judged, not your emotions. And yeah, you're going to say, oh, I'm so cool and I don't engage in aggressive behavior. Partner, there is something called passive aggressive, okay? And we're from the same place. So I know you know that when you're growing up, especially your grandparents would say, don't trust quiet people. These are the dangerous ones. And you would know that your grandparents would warn you, those are the serpentine ones. And those are the ones you got to look out for. And I know it's your style to be calm and cool. It's actually a good way to seduce your audience. So that is why you come across as calm and cool and innocuous. You know what I'm saying? To disarm your potential victims, so to speak. Your followers who are potential victims. And that is why you come across so calm and cool. It's actually a strategy to be innocuous, to be calm, so that people think that you're not dangerous. You see what I'm saying? And that way you disarm your followers. They're unsuspecting. And then you spring the trap on them. I'm on to you, Roby. I see you. For all the civility you have, look at the thumbnail you posted. That is not a mark of civility, Roby. So you may fool your followers, Roby, but you're not fooling me. I detect extreme aggression with the thumbnail you posted. That is called passive aggressive. Well, don't worry. I have a little bit of experience in this sort of stuff. Well, don't worry about it. I have a little experience in this sort of stuff. I was a counselor over 20-something years ago. So I know passive aggressive behavior when I see it.
No, he could not present anything substantive to prove that I said things that was really rubbish or garbage. He just looked at my intros. He put pieces of my intros into there. He did not put any meat on the table. So that's kind of fishy. I mean, why don't you deal with my messages? Why do you have to attack me?
Roby. It was your message that I attack. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. It's about your message and what you said and how you twisted Dr. Keith Mitchell's story. And what I said was very substantive. You would not be responding if you believe what I said wasn't substantive. I believe a lot of people might have sent this video to you, and that is why you felt compelled to respond, because you knew the validity, the truth in what I was saying. And in some respects, now you're trying to do a little damage control to cover your tracks. So you respond and say, oh, what you said wasn't substantive. Now tell me something. Let's look at this again, this little clip from Dr. Keith Mitchell. Let's look at it again.
As a senior member of the party said then, I see Keith grow up in patch pants and barefoot and he want to be prime minister. That and a green donkey he will never see. Well, we saw a lot of green donkey throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Piniman, for 23 years, we saw green donkeys in Grenada.
So you're telling me, based on what you just heard from what Dr. Keith Mitchell said, that he meant to call his followers or people for the last 23 years who had ruled Grenada green donkey? Is that what you gather? Is that what you comprehend from what he just said? Now, the reason that I thought in some respects that you were vile, and you actually confirmed my suspicion, especially with the thumbnail that you put in the response. So all this thing about you're so cool and you're so calm and oh, I'm not aggressive is bull. Okay? You ain't fooling me. Okay? And the fact that you gathered from that clip that you thought it was respectful, that you thought it was kind, and you thought that it was not vile to call fellow Grenadians green donkey in the slick way that you did it, you want to tell me you didn't have ignoble intentions when you did that? Who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? One serious measure of a man, okay, is the ability to stand on principle, is the ability to tell the truth.
Personally, I don't know you. We may not be on the same page, but you seem to be very aggressive. And you just gave a whole word salad. Everything is mixed up. There is no substance. There is no taste. The viewers could not get anything from that.
Roby, stop lying to yourself, okay? You would not be here responding at what I said if you thought it was a word salad. And if you didn't believe that it was extremely impactful and the message that I gave about the vile behavior resonated with people, and that is why you're here responding. And you're still engaging in vileness, okay, with your thumbnail. Okay, so my suspicions again were correct. I mean, I should know. You called fellow Grenadians green donkey, and you relished in the moment. Okay, this is what you promote. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
There is nothing that can lead to someone's development in that quick rant that you gave there.
Roby. It wasn't a rant. It was logical, it was reasonable, and it was definitively clear about exposing your actions, misinterpretation, and twisting of what Dr. Keith Mitchell said. And again, that is why your response is so lengthy. Okay? You would not have responded that way if you didn't believe that what I said exposed what you did. Okay? And I believe you need to backpedal and pivot away from such viciousness against fellow Grenadians. Okay? As I told you, that is unconscionable.
So he talked about me singing for my supper. Now I work for my supper. I have a very lucrative job. And if I have to come back to Grenada to serve, the government would have to pay me a lot of money. They would have to match and surpass my amount right now. But I'm not interested in that. And even if I come back to Grenada, I have many means of surviving. I have security within my family. I like to farm. I can do a business. So I spent 23 years working with the government of Grenada. I think that I might also get a little pension in a few years. So I don't have to sing for supper. I don't eat supper. I eat dinner, right?
Okay, Roby, you eat dinner. Wow, what do you have, caviar at night? You eat dinner. Oh, yeah, sure, you eat dinner. You don't sing for your supper. So you don't sing for your supper, and you're being so vicious and vile towards fellow Grenadians that you will tear them down. You will call them green donkey, okay? Or you would imply that they're green donkey, and you're not even paid to do that? Well, shocking. What a shame. You're not even being paid to do that, and you're just, out of your own volition, just tearing down Grenadians? And you're not even being paid to do it? Wow. This even makes it more sick and demented that you're doing it, not being paid, not because you want to make a couple of dollars, but just because you get some sort of sick pleasure in calling fellow Grenadians green donkey. That's why you do it? Would you get a hard on doing this shit or something? That's the pleasure you get from this? You're not even being paid and you're doing that? Yo, that is sick. That is freaking sick and demented. Boy, when I said there was some sort of danger there, I was not kidding. My suspicions are being confirmed.
So what I'm doing here is just educating the people. Not anything about propagandists.
Ah, Roby, come on, man. Stop lying to yourself, bro. Because you know when you lie, you're not really lying to other people, right? Especially people who see through you. You're basically lying to your own self. And one of the worst things human beings can do is lie to themselves. So you're telling me that you are trying to educate people when you misrepresented, twisted what Dr. Keith Mitchell said when he used metaphorical and colorful language to explain how difficult it was when he entered the NNP party, okay, as a young politician, and people in the party said to him, look, you will never be able to make it, not on a green donkey. And then he used the metaphor of green donkey when he succeeded for 23 years and became prime minister. He used the metaphor and said there was a lot of green donkey, meaning that he succeeded so many times that it was like seeing a green donkey, which is something that people generally can't see and never will see. So he used metaphorical language to explain his success. And you're telling me that you twisted that. Okay? You use this in the most violent, unkind way. And you wholesale called Grenadian people green donkey, and you tell me that was educating people? My God. Wow. Boy, you're truly twisted. Wow.
I don't have any negative agenda. I'm not here to damage people's character.
Oh, you're such a saint, Roby. You never did anything wrong. You never did anybody anything wrong. You're such a good guy. Yeah? Roby, again, you're telling me that you don't have a negative agenda. You're not there to damage anyone's character. You wholesale labeled, okay, thousands of people as green donkeys, tried to humiliate them, tried to dishonor them, even went a whole monologue about how calling people green donkey is saying that they're foolish, and and you play all these games, and you're telling me that you're not interested in damaging people's character? Boy, this is just on a next level. Abominable. Whoa.
I'm not here to get into any melee. I don't wear a skirt. I wear boxers. I wear pants. And my whole body, the way God made me, is manly. So I don't beat TB with people. I can do it, but I try not to do it.
So you're trying to convince me that you're not here to beat TV. And then you went into a whole trying to convince me that you're very manly. And you don't wear a skirt, you wear boxers. Well, I assumed that, but nowadays you can't assume too much. Just a little heads up. Men who are manly don't have to prove or to go overboard trying to prove to other men that they're manly. It just shines through. So that's something you have to go about and say, oh, I'm manly. I wear boxers. I don't wear skirts. This is not something that you need to really go overboard trying to explain to people. So I get it. You're manly.
Because my role is to enlighten people. My role is to make people see betterment in life as possible. My role is to educate the people. Like I told you guys, in case this guy don't know me, I am a qualified teacher.
So your aim is to enlighten. Your aim is to educate. So you thought it was enlightening when you call thousands of Grenadian people who's part of the NNP green donkeys. You thought that was pretty much enlightening? You thought that was educating? You thought that was some sort of edification? To call thousands of fellow Grenadians green donkey, or to imply that they're green donkey. You thought that was enlightening and uplifting? Seriously? And you're a teacher? Or you were a teacher? Wow, we have something in common. I taught in high school a very long time ago. But as a teacher, I know when I see metaphorical use of words. I know when I see colorful language. So you're kind of breaking my fucking heart now, you know, knowing that you're a teacher, that was your level of comprehension. That was your level of comprehension. That is what you comprehended. That was your level of comprehension. This is what you gathered from what Dr. Keith Mitchell said as a teacher. Seriously? That you saw him use the metaphor of a green donkey to explain how difficult and hard it was to achieve becoming prime minister, and you thought that it was literal to call fellow Grenadians green donkey, and you're a teacher? Even more appalling. Who did you teach? I'd like to see some of your past students.
So it means that I'm a teacher for life. Now, when I left the classroom many years ago, I did not leave teaching behind. And now that we have an avenue for teaching, we have the internet. Any teacher can teach on the internet. Even if you are in a school right now, even if you are employed, you can teach online. And what I'm doing is free. It's voluntary. People from time to time would reach out to me and ask me if I accept donations. I have never really accepted donations from people, but I have the option of doing it.
So you're saying to me that after you had such a fruitful career in teaching, and you're not teaching anymore, and you had an opportunity to come on the internet and teach, and you thought that the best thing to teach is vile statements, or make vile statements about fellow Grenadians being green donkey? You thought that is the best contribution as a teacher? To pit Grenadian people against each other and use provocative statements and vile statements of calling fellow Grenadians, thousands of people, green donkeys? You thought that was the best use of your teaching experience? Wow, Roby. Wow. Probably you should take a page from my book and provide solutions like I provided for Cloget, or solutions for Molyneux, or properly scrutinize Polaris. Now, there's a use of experience and judgment for the betterment of Grenadian people at large, not to call them green donkeys.
So I'm a survivor.
So you've moved now from being a big fancy guy who eats big dinners to being a survivor? You're just surviving?
I'm not interested in any work with the government of Grenada. I am good where I'm at. I'm not saying that I would never come back and serve my country, but I just want this guy to know that I'm not singing for supper.
Okay, so I get it. You're not singing for your supper. I mean, you said that like several times throughout the video. I'm convinced now. No worries, no pressure. I'm convinced. You're not singing for your supper. But probably you should be paid for what you're doing. I mean, you're going hard, bro. You're burning the midnight oil. You know what I'm saying? So while your overlords are being rapacious, milking Grenada's coffers, you're not even getting pennies on a dollar? Are you kidding me? So you're helping these guys, you're actually promoting these guys and helping them use the machinations of government to self-enrich. And you're happy you're doing that. You're happy with them bleeding the coffers of Grenada, and you're there like an activist, a great fighter, while they bleed the country dry and self-enrich. And you're cool with that. Okay, Ruby. I got you.
I'm not as dangerous that he thinks, right? Now, those thoughts that you have in your head, you better take it out.
Oh, no, Ruby. I think you're dangerous. For a man who could twist a story so deviously and bamboozle and deceive its own audience, his own people in his own camp, okay? And do it with such a straight face and in such a cold, calculating manner, that's a dangerous person. So I'm not going to take that out of my head. I don't underestimate my ops at all. And with that level of cunning, I mean, you told me how much you're a manly man. Boy, I could only imagine if you could have a conversation with those ladies that you dealt with, such a manly man. I could imagine the stories they would tell. Because someone doesn't just get up and engage in that level of deceit. You know, just get up one morning and engage in that level of deceit. That has to be ingrained in that person's personality. That is something that comes with practice. So you've done this before, many times over.
He did more than one video featuring me. So I want to tell him, thank you for the exposure. I have a lot of people now following me. You know, I was wondering, why so many people following me? You know, in one day I get so many followers. And it's because of the free ads that he put out. And it's not only him. I appreciate that.
Oh, no, Roby. I didn't do more than one video. Actually, I did one vid. But what I did, I mean, you're in the same business, right? You should understand. I chopped one of the video and I made a short, right? So that's what it was. It wasn't, that's a lot of time to spend. It was just one video and I chopped it up a bit. But you're welcome. You know, we're in that, that's the nature of the business. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to have pushed some traffic your way. It was indeed for a noble cause. I mean, I had to bring attention to you calling fellow Grenadians green donkey. I had to expose that. I had no choice. Again, as I told you, we at the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democratic Party, you know, we feel in some respects that we are the defenders of all Grenadians. So when we see such behavior, you know, such derelict behavior, we definitely try to get involved. You see what I'm saying? Because I believe ultimately there will come a time where Grenadians would actually resent this sort of behavior. We're going through a transition point and we'll be better for it. I believe so. I mean, the way I see it, you owe me a check. Mr. Big Shot.
But, you know, I don't see you as an enemy. You know, probably one day we would meet and chat like big men. We'd be wearing pants though, not skirts. Yes, we would sit and chat. You know, probably we can do a live one day.
Oh, I'm all for a live someday, Roby. You say the word. And of course, I don't see you as an enemy. You've not done me any wrong, personally. I just thought that what you did was highly inappropriate to fellow Grenadians, calling them green donkeys, right? And and you kind of were slick at doing it. So that made it a little bit, in my mind, a little bit more shameful. You see what I'm saying? So I felt compelled. It's not even about you. It's about what you said about fellow Grenadians. And I felt that the intent was ignoble. But there's always an opportunity for you to pivot. hopefully this can be a teaching moment. I mean, you're a teacher, especially. So it can be a watershed moment that you could be a little more careful and considerate in what you say about fellow Grenadians. It creates a messy climate. You know, it's a little bit reckless sometimes. It doesn't mean that we have to be church mouses or anything, because it's politics. You may have an opinion, I may have an opinion, and that's good, but we don't have to be vile. See what I'm saying? And again, you're a teacher, so I would believe that you don't lack words to express yourself. But when you use guile to dishonor and disrespect and put down fellow Grenadians, it's not a good look, especially for someone who said, you know, they were a teacher.
So, you know, whoever you are, don't see me as dangerous. Don't see me as your enemy.
You got me a little suspicious now, Ruby. You're going hard on convincing me that you're not an enemy. Nah, but I don't see you as an enemy until you give me reasons to, you know, prove otherwise. But I'll tell you a little story. It's so funny. There was a guy one time I went to, you know, get together. I saw him, and, you know, and he was giving me that kind of hard look. So I went over to him, you know, said, "What's going on, man? What's going on?" So he said, "You know, a friend of mine used to send me your videos, and I was so pissed. I used to tell that man, I didn't want to see nothing from that guy." And it was related to the revolutionary era in Grenada. He felt that I was going too hard on socialist Marxists. And it was at the same time when the thing was happening in, you know, Venezuela, spat with Venezuela and the United States. And I felt that it wasn't wise that Grenada should get involved. And then him and I started chatting, you know, about why I was saying what I was saying. And then he says, "Oh man, shit, you know, you're making a lot of sense." And you know, no lying. So you realize that, hey, you know, we big men, we could talk. And he said, "You know what's funny?" He said, "My friend said to me, you want to bet you might meet this guy and you and him might, you know, have a good rapport. You and him might get along." And so said, so happened. The next time I saw him, we had a good time. We had a couple of beers. I say this story to illustrate and to remind people that we can discuss the issues. We can be on different sides of the issues. Ultimately, we should think at the end of the day who we are. That's critical. That's important. I mean, I'm sure you've seen my vids. An attempt at reconciliation in some respects with different people. But they're disappointed. So that didn't work out too well. So I am, you know, a little paranoid now these days.
I've never met you, but you need to stop talking all them kind of shh about me, because if you start a war with me, a verbal war, it will not end, because I don't have shame and I am a recurring decimal. You can't win against someone who never quits. You can't win against someone who would keep coming back.
Oh, it seems that we're cut from similar cloth. I like that. Oh, I like that spirit, Roby. Never give up. You never know. That may drive a lot more traffic to you and to me.
I have time. I have energy. But mind you, I will not get in any TB or melee with you. I will deal with substance.
Oh yeah, Roby. I'm all for substance too. I like that.
So you can bring your substance, I would bring my substance, and we can reason. You know, in life, we don't like the same things, and we have to respect that. Some people like rice, some people don't. Some people like pork, some people don't. It's all about preference and choices. You can't force someone to like what you like. You may convince someone to like something. But I think that you need to watch the movie Coming to America, especially the first part where the bride was told to do certain things like hop on one leg. I am an independent thinker. And again, I want to say here that this is a zone of reason, common sense, and knowledge.
Well, that's common sense. I would definitely not try to even convince you as to what position to take. That's a choice you have to make for yourself. But again, the issue came about when I felt, and you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, when you respond in another video, you'll come clean and, you'll tell us what your real aim is. My aim was to expose what I believe was extremely shameful. Okay? When Grenadians are called green donkey. I mean, you could scope political points, but on merit, on real issues, not on calling Grenadians green donkey. You see, that only widens the rift and the divide and creates for more division in an already seemingly explosive situation. And people like us who have experienced certain things are old enough and have seen certain things with our own eyes, understand certain things. And what we notice is that the people who should be mature and who have experienced those things, even on a more personal level than we have had, they are not showing any sense of leadership and responsibility. Okay? Because they're thinking certain things will never happen again. But a lot of the times, environment and climate create situations. Okay?
That's what it is. I am not attacking you. I'm responding to you because you started it. But I'm just telling you again that as cool as I am calm like a butterfly, but I can sting like a bee. I think you need to check yourself and present more substance, because substance is key.
I like the alley vibes, like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I like that. Yeah, I love that. But as for substance, man, I got substance spinning on my ass, bro. I mean, I know you've seen my videos, so they're pretty substantive. And again, I mean, the fact that you responded with such a lengthy vid tells me that, the mission was accomplished. I hope that you'll be a little more considerate and deliberate in what you're doing. I have a strange feeling that you will be.
We are in 2026 and we have a lot of smart people in the world now due to technology exposure.
I don't know, Roby, about there being a lot more smart people in the world. I mean, there's a lot more information available and people may have access to more information. Are they more critical thinking, reasonable, and logical? Because if they saw you posted a video, claiming that Dr. Keith Mitchell himself called his followers green donkeys, something should have clicked and said, wait. I mean, Keith Mitchell calling his own people green donkeys, and then you capitalizing on that, and they were so gullible, and they swallow that up, drink up that jizz and Kool-Aid. I don't know how smart that is. You know what I'm saying? Something would have said, you know what? Let me go and take a look at what he actually said, rather than run with it. So it tells me that they're a lot more emotional. They sort of relish in that sort of basal reactive information. And I don't believe that is a good thing for the followers of any party. Okay?
So this rant makes no sense, and I am not shifted by it. As a matter of fact, for me, this is motivation. I love this. When you do what you just did, you give me the urge, the motivation, the drive to do another video.
Well, I'm happy to inspire you, Roby. I just hope I inspire you away from being so basal. You see what I'm saying? Because in some respects, you sung conciliatory, but then you put a bag of crap at the end of your video. So again, I get it. You're passive aggressive. I get it, But if you want to be conciliatory, that's not a way to go, bro. It's not a way to go. I mean, what are you saying? Are you saying that everything you've just said is a bunch of crap? Is that what you're saying? It's a little confusing, you know?